Alrighty. Hey everyone. Welcome. Love these Tuesday night calls. Super excited for the two candidates we have tonight that have volunteered so eagerly to be on our coaching tonight. But I wanted to kick us off with a word of prayer, and then I have just a couple of blitzy tidbits I wanted to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and pray, and then we'll get rolling. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to thank you for this opportunity that we have to just come together to learn and to grow and to gain in knowledge and in our skill set. I thank you that even as coaches, we're learning lots of things, and I know these brave ones that have been willing to be coached in a group setting it can be nerve-wracking. So I just pray that you give us peace as we learn together. I do thank you that you have given us all that we need to live a godly life in Christ Jesus. So we just thank you for this time, and we commit it to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. Letting a few more people in. Whoopsie. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so I have a couple of little tidbits I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys have a win for the month so far, I want you to pop it in the chat, because we want to be celebrating wins as we go throughout the month, okay? And our month can sometimes look like a big roller coaster, right? And so I just want to encourage you, in the midst of the highs and the lows, the swings of momentum, and sometimes the seasons of seed planting seasons, even within a month or a week's time, I just want to encourage you to keep your faith and your hope strong and up and high, because one of the things that can happen mid-month is that we get a little bit bummed, because sometimes the plans that we have or the goals that we've set don't look like we're inching toward those. So if you're in that space of like, I set that goal at the beginning of the month, and here we are a third of the way through, and I don't know how that's going to happen. Well, welcome to the club, all right? And there's a lot of us on this call who have experienced exactly what you're feeling, and maybe even experiencing it now. I personally have set a goal for myself on my reentry to go senior Ruby. And so I will just let you guys know that is my goal. And it's a scary goal. Sometimes it's hard to admit what the goal is, because then it makes us accountable to what we said that we were going to do. I have a baby knocking at my door. Anyways, so I just want to encourage you to really hone down on your daily routine, okay? This is something that Carissa has talked about a lot, and me also. And I think one reason I talk about it a lot is because I'm working on it a lot. I was just at Gold School this past weekend, and when I was in the airplane on the way, I was just evaluating my daily schedule. Like, where are the gaps? Where is the time wasters? How can I be more efficient? How can I make sure that my morning and evening routines are as they should be, right? And so one little just reminder is that the secret to success is our daily routine. And sometimes in this business, we start out and it's like really chaotic. Like, you're learning a lot of things and you're trying to implement, and it can sometimes feel like you're kind of ping-ponging, not really having any system. It's just chaos. And I was chuckling because I was on a call and listened to Emily Gibson basically share going to Emerald for her was chaos. And then from Emerald to Sapphire, how she got there was sip and seize. And then Sapphire to Diamond was it was the mindset that she was going to develop 1 gold a month. Like, that was her goal. And so I just thought that was really encouraging. Okay, so if you feel like you're in a space right now where you maybe just went silver and you're like, whoa, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to do all the things. Okay, you are learning. Okay, you're going to be developing your system, right? And you know, I think sometimes the willy-nilly can be honed in by just being aware of, you know what, let's operate off of a little checklist. Or, you know, maybe I need to be a little bit more methodical and more systematic, right? It took me way too long to really even be able to be aware of that, but just keep that in mind, okay? I was reading in my Success Principles book about the no exceptions rule. And I thought it was so good. I was reading it on the plane. I was very challenged by it. It said, successful people adhere to the, quote, no exceptions rule when it comes to their daily disciplines. Once you make a 100% commitment to something, there are no exceptions. It's a done deal, non-negotiable, case closed. And he gave the example of like 100% commitment to exercise. And no matter what happens, it's settled. Like you go to bed late, you still exercise. You, whatever, have a 7 a.m. television interview, you still make it happen, right? Even if it's late at night or whatever. So they were just talking about like habitual things, how we are very habitual creatures. Like we brush our teeth before we go to bed, right? And so establishing those rhythms and being just aware of those. And then the second thing I just wanted to remind you guys is when you have a creative idea, you need to act on it. And I was just also reading in this book as well. Oops, someone's not muted. Hang on one sec. I was reading in this book as well about how our short-term memory only lasts like, I thought it said 40 seconds, which is really short. My takeaway from that it says, because research on memory tells us that a new idea lasts for about only 40 seconds in the short-term memory, and then it's gone. It's important to write down your ideas from your inner coach, and then put them in a file that you will review before your next performance. Otherwise, you may lose the benefit of the valuable feedback. But sometimes I have my most creative thoughts when I like get ready for bed, or I'm like in bed. And if I don't have a pen and paper next to my bed, sometimes I go to bed thinking, oh, that'll be a great post in the morning. And I wake up, I'm like, I had a great post, but I don't know what it was or where it was. So anyways, reminder to, when you have those little split second like, oh, you know what, hey, I should do that. Or you have a fun little idea, write it down and execute that. Because you guys, that's the thing, is like trying things and you'll find a way that works, right? And sometimes it's just a little tweak on something that we're already doing. I loved the idea in the Jewels of Excellence page about a sip and shop. I really want to do this soon, which is basically a local boutique. You team up with them and they let you come in, invite all your people, invite all your potentials, and you have your Plexus stuff and you can shop at the same time. I just thought that was such a fun idea, such a fun little spin on a sip and see. So, all right, before we get too far into our time, I wanted to kick it over to Carissa, because she is going to be coaching Ashley. Let's see, Ashley, are you on? There you are. If you can put there you are, your video's on, and you can unmute as well. So it's nice to see you. Welcome.
Good to see you. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
So thanks for being willing to be coached with the group.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay, so why don't you tell all of us a little bit about specifically kind of where you're at in Plexus? Like, did you join, and what have been like some of your wins so far?
Okay, so I joined like, I don't know, a year ago maybe. So I'm not a fast start, but I just decided I'd gotten off a couple rounds of antibiotics, and I told my upline Lisa, I'm like, I've got to get back on, like it. I love Plexus so much. So I think I decided like mid-March that I'm going to do this. So I got 3 people, my mom, my friend, and like a family friend, like a neighbor. And where I'm at right now is I've had 2 new sign-ons in the past 2 days, and I have another one that's going to sign on either tonight or tomorrow. And I've got, I think, 2 other people right now that have shown a lot of interest. So we're just keeping the dialogue going. So,
yay! Congratulations on all that. It's just some early wins.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. So in the year that you've been on Lisa's team, have you been a part of any of the team pages or threads or groups that are working?
Muted them. So I think it was like 2017 maybe, and I had tried Triplex for a couple months, and I had no intention to sell, like no interest in selling. I loved the products, but eventually I thought I can't afford it, or something else fun came up, and I thought, oh man.
Yeah.
And so I've always, of course, seen Lisa's post, my friend Amy's posts. So I was always watching and listening, and so I believed in the products, and I knew that they were wonderful. But it just for me was I didn't want to spend the money at the time. And I also did not want to do the job. I did not want to hustle in any way. So
Yeah.
it just kind of was like perfect timing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm at the point now where I'm all in. So I love it. I want to share it with others and I want to do this. So
Interesting how, that transformation. Have you been jotting down just, little bite size, just from everything you just shared with me? I felt like I heard like 10 posts.
yeah.
Because the people, the people that are starting to hear you talk about this have some of the same objections, even the little casual ones, like, something else more fun came along.
Right.
Just make sure that you're jotting down all those little aspects of your story. I see, you may not be doing this, but I see new people sometimes think that if I share my story in this one giant mile long thing, and then once it's shared, it's shared. And really it's more about the tiny little sound bites and tiny little snippets and how many different ways on repeat you can get that message out there in a way that strikes somebody different than the way it did last time. So even just everything you were saying, I was like, oh man, I hope she does a quick post about that and that and that. So and just because you've been where you've been for a year, you have a peek into people's objections and kind of what motivates their objections. And so you can be posting in a way that speaks to those things, and you can talk about like, hey, and I was wrong about that. Like, I didn't want to hustle after something. And now I'm having so much fun. Like, you're going to be able to really authentically speak to a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, you are kind of just signing people up rapid fire. It sounds like you have some just influence. Would that be accurate, that you have people that really trust you, that are just like, yeah, I want to do it? I mean, would you agree?
Yes. I think it's tough because I feel like I have a pretty small community. We homeschool, and we're pretty involved in our church. And, Lisa's, I don't know if you know Lisa, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Lisa's our pastor's wife. And so it's a little tricky because I know most of our people know Plexus really well, or have tried it, or maybe are on the team even. And so it's been a little harder, like reaching out with like family. Like, I'm finding myself like, now that like I really believe in the product and I want to share it with others, I'm thinking like, oh, this person would just love it. Like, oh, I know that they have this thing going on, or they're dealing with this issue, or I've got relatives out of state that I'm thinking like, I have an aunt with no thyroid, and so I'm trying to share, but I still feel that like I am sharing, and I have reached out a little bit, and I haven't, like, there's a lot of people I haven't heard back from. So that's always a little like, okay, what do I do? What is the next step with those people? Because I don't want to pester them, but I also don't want them to think, okay, I didn't hear from you, I'm going to leave. I'm going to just abandon that forever,
Okay, well, I hope you're diving in. I mean, I feel like there are so many brilliant people within Plexus who can give just simple practical tips on that. And so just searching like, what does Brooke Hemingway say about follow-up? What does Emily Roberts say about follow-up? You're going to find a lot of tips in there. And I could sit here and give you, all of the follow-up tips. But I'll spare that. But for now, one I loved from Brooke Hemingway was to pop back and say, hey, it's not like you not to respond. Everything going okay? Like saying something like that. And just as you're talking to me, I'm hearing the belief in your voice. And so I would challenge you to voice message people and say, oh my goodness, I thought of you because I just really feel like this would help you with XYZ. I mean, here you are at the very beginning, like the honeymoon of your Plexus journey, and you have a lot of very warm contacts. And so you have the ability to, and I remember feeling the same way. Like I had people on my mind and on my heart that I thought they really need this. And sometimes it was awkward. Like, one of them was someone who had just chronically been struggling with his weight. And I was like, how do you reach out to someone and be like, I really think this would help you with your weight? But I found a way, and I felt like voice message was bridging the gap as far as making sure that my belief and my heart came across really authentic. But there are so many trainings about authentically reaching out, authentically following up. I feel like you're going to be amazing at that. But I would redirect you when it comes to like, okay, you have this tight-knit homeschool community, you have this tight-knit church community with Lisa. So be broadening your mind to realize that every time you, let's say, add one new friend on Facebook and you see that you only have 5 mutual friends with that person, that means that every other friend in their network is totally, completely not been exposed to you and Lisa's church.
Right.
You know, every person that you add and every person that you become connected with, you then unlock an entirely different pocket of the world and all of the people that they're connected with. So you're going to be kind of branching into this idea of, how do I help other people duplicate? Even though I came in and I didn't want to duplicate right away. Like, you know, not everybody you sign needs to take a whole year to make up their mind.
Right.
So kind of being familiar with what your objections were and being ready to guide new people. So do you, have you kind of watched any of these trainings, and do you do this where when you get someone signed up, do you ask them to post right away?
I have. I've let them know. I think it was is it Jordan? What's her last name? Roddenberry? How do you say it?
Roddenberry.
I think it's one of her team calls that she said something about, letting them know, like, hey, just so you know, like, our team, like, we get our products covered because we have accountability partners, and it just takes 3. And Plexus is going to pay you $400 this month to do that. And it's great to have accountability partners to, while you're doing this journey. Yeah. And I've got a few, so I've got 2 girls right now that just signed up. One has said, I really need this. I'll basically, whatever it takes, I'm doing it, but I will not share about it. Like, she's kind of, nope,
whatever it takes, but
whatever it takes to like feel better, but I really don't care to like talk about it. So
okay. Gotcha.
She doesn't care to like talk about it or like tell people about it. She's working.
She has voiced that she is strongly opposed to sharing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I understood it first.
So I'm like, okay, that to me is like, okay, I'll give her a couple months. And when she's like, Ashley, I feel amazing, I'll do the challenge. Like, okay, I dare you to go post, like, tell people about it, because they're probably suffering too. But I have a couple of people. I have a friend right now who she has a really strong social media presence, and she's like trying to like she's got a full-time job and she's got 4 kids, and she's basically the breadwinner in their household. Her husband's going to school, and I'm like, just try this with me. She would be amazing at it. And I've tried, and she hasn't jumped in yet, but that's like another one that I don't know. I've got a few people like that I know are interested in products, but they're like scared to jump in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's tricky, pushy either, but it's hard when someone is going to be like right there with you and like doing life, and they're going to love it, and they haven't seen the vision yet. So that's kind of tricky, but.
Well, good for you for having that radar up and for you're seeing something for them that they can't yet see for themselves, but you see it for them. And there were people like that in my life. And every single time I see someone out there poo-pooing on network marketing or MLM, I think to myself, I am so thankful for my pestering, pushy, tacky friend. I am so thankful. I would not be where I am today, and my family wouldn't be where we are today. So I always repeat that to myself. Anytime something is out there that, could be sort of putting a damper on my belief. But so with a person like that, and have you like voice messaged them?
Okay. I have.
I had something on the tip of my brain and it just totally escaped me. But it was like right in the middle of when you were talking. But okay, so I said, have your radar up for people like that. No. Okay, I lost it. But So are you going for senior silver this month?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And is there anybody that you are helping towards silver that knows that you're like, that they're going for silver?
I have not, out of the 5 that are signed right now, none are motivated to post. I've tried really hard to get, especially my mom, because I can call my mom up and go, you need to just do it. Like, I will log into your Facebook and do it for you. You know, she's been kind of funny. She did make one post, but she's been funny. So yeah, so no, I haven't. And I'm so surprised because it's just not how I think. And I like constantly have to remind myself that not everyone thinks the way that I do about this. Cause if it was me and Lisa said, hey, if you get 3 people to do this, you're going to get $410. It's going to pay for your product for like 2.5 months.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, sweet. All right. I'm calling whoever.
Okay. And I'm so glad you said that because it reminded me the thing that escaped.
Okay.
So you've said about a couple of these people, like, man, I don't know what they're afraid of. Have you gotten curious and said, okay, what are you afraid of? Have you gotten curious with these people like I'm doing with you right now?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Why not?
I guess I should. I haven't thought and like, why not? Yeah.
As long as, I was curious if there was resistance with you as far as not doing that, but it's more just, it didn't occur to me to dig in. Do you feel like it's too personal?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I can ask that question. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'll be shocked what you find out because you're totally right. A lot of people don't think like you or operate like you, and they just don't have the same story as you. They don't have the same set of circumstances that's brought them to where they are. So whatever it is they're afraid of is very rooted in their story. I have heard that a lot. So yeah, I think you'll be surprised what you can uncover with some just curiosity. And you have the queen of curiosity, Megan Goff, as one of your uplines. So go on all her team calls and just listen to that as an example. But yeah, I would definitely, with the people that you've got so far, you can approach it and say, hey, so I know we talked about you throwing a post up and you felt really hesitant, like really resistant. I'm super curious. What are you afraid of? And keep asking questions. You don't have to feel like you have to immediately jump into fix-it mode with them either, because it's safe to assume that you may not get these people, these exact 5 people where you want to take them this month. You're still off finding others who are going to see the vision as quickly as you see it for them. So, if you can kind of become an objective person and you can kind of release the attachment to how that outcome is going to affect you, then you can be curious from a really like objective place, and you can help set them free. Like you can be an agent for bringing some freedom into their life, because whatever it is that's keeping them from, throwing a post up is probably holding them back in a lot of areas. And they came to you for help. So something that if they're gripped by a fear like that, then it's also affecting their health. And so you can always pull that card too and say, I'm here to help with your mental health too. So let's talk about this. But it sounds like you're doing awesome. So the only other thing I would say is when you ask someone, hey, could you, throw a little post up on your social media? I always say it could look something like this. And I write it.
Okay.
And I use, phrases that they've used. And so if you're not doing that already, you can definitely do that. Okay. So where are you at today on the 12th in relation to senior silver? How many of your people that you have hit 100 PV?
I've got 2 whose welcome packs have been ordered, and 3, for April. Okay. And 3, my 3 from March won't go through until somewhere around the 25th.
Okay. So you have 12 points from your 2 new April joins, and you have 18 points coming for a total of 30, and 50 points is senior silver. So so that means you're 20 points away. And essentially that's going to be like 5 people, right? 14, yeah. So it's going to be 5 people.
Mhm.
So have you started putting that out there that your goal is to, and you can even round up to like 6 or 7 or 8, but have you started putting out there that your goal is to help 7 people get started this month?
I haven't. No, I should do that. That's a good idea.
And you can layer it, like you can
Mhm.
go live and talk about why that's your goal. And you can, put a graphic like countdown together that you mark off every time one of those 7 or 8 orders comes in. You can powwow. Well, you can powwow with the team that you do have to say, hey, I know that you're not here to build a business, but I would so appreciate if you would share my story with some people in your life or some people in your audience, and share the issues that you have seen some relief from, and say, hey, do you know anyone who's dealing with whatever, like sugar cravings, like I used to have? I would love to help them. So just kind of get those ideas flowing. But I think if your team knows, hey, my goal is to help at least 7 or 8 more people this month, who can you introduce me to? Even if they're not willing to put something out there on their social media yet, you can still kind of be generating ideas for who they can introduce you to. Have you done an event, a launch event?
We've done 2 15-minute Facebook events.
Okay.
The first one, I got one, and then this one was actually tonight, and I have one, and she wants to sign up today or tomorrow. And then I had 2 more, and I know they have little kids, and that I'm assuming that's part of it because they had said, yes, please add me to it. And they weren't on tonight. So I did shoot them a message, and I just said, just so you know, it's, you can go back and read all of that. I know it's hard when you have kids and yada, yada. And let me know or I didn't say let me know. I think I said, I love the testimony videos. Did anything speak to you? Like, could you relate in any way with your own like health things going on or whatever?
Awesome.
So I'm waiting, I'm hoping, I'm trying to like end with a question. So I'm hoping to just keep the dialogue going. I've definitely over the past like 2 weeks sent out a lot of messages that are like, I've probably had 30 messages that haven't been responded to. That's like, that for me right now is like a mental hurdle of like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, I don't know. Do you just ignore that and like wait like another month when there's a different deal out and say, hey, just wanted to like let you know I'm still thinking of you? Like, how do you address that?
I try to continue to grow the rapport, like grow and establish that the relationship is priority. So I still try to keep the conversation going and interact with their stories about some of the other things going on in their life. And then, for the follow-up on Plexus, I'll kind of recycle my way back through, send, share, and invite. Like, if you've sent them a testimony video and it's looking like that's just for whatever reason, like finding the 4 minutes to sit and listen to the video is not resonating, then I might send them like a visual graphic of Candida yeast symptoms and say, hey, I haven't forgotten about you. I know you've been struggling, or you shared XYZ with me. So, what jumps out at you from this list, or you can kind of continue to revive it. But I don't necessarily just wait till another month when there's a new deal, because typically if they're not taking the plunge and going ahead and ordering, then there's some reason why. And so you'll again get curious. Like, you'll come back and say, hey, it seems like you're not quite ready to move forward. Do you mind if I ask why? I really want you to be totally comfortable getting started. And so kind of go back and discover what the objections are, so that you can address those objections, and just keep doing that. Like, keep coming back and saying, hey, what other questions can we chat about? I just want to make sure that you're comfortable getting started. What other questions do you have? Megan can probably remember that's what Carrie Netherton was doing with her for so long, as every little thing popped up that made it difficult. Well, hey, what else can I help you find? Or So it sounds like you're doing really great with that. So I was just going to say, as far as events, so you've done like 2 little messenger events. I would encourage you to think big picture. You know your community pretty well, and you know your 5 people that you have, and you have maybe a sense of what their community is like. And so start to think about like, well, what do my homeschool mom friends, what are they thinking about this time of year? Like, I know for me, we're struggling with all this pollen, and we're all like thinking about summer is really close around the corner. We're starting to plan our summer vacations and stuff. So with my team, I've been like, okay, I want to get an event out there that has to do with decreasing inflammation and dropping a little extra weight as we all think about counting down to summer. I want to get some content or event ideas going that have to do with pollen and allergies and, that hitting people. So you can start to come up with some new ideas, some fresh ideas. If you're like, great, the messenger events went well. How else can we serve our audience? How else can I offer something of value that these 5 people on my team will want to bring people to,
Mm-hmm.
So I would really encourage you there too. Okay. So when you said, I'm curious just a little bit more about your why and like you being kind of all in at this point, like, how far do you want to go in Plexus?
I'm trying to give myself like, okay, here's like my reasonable goal right now. I want to go senior silver. My goal would be definitely emerald. I would love to do that. My husband's an ER nurse and like a supervisor in the ER here. And it's a really hard job, and it's really like very mentally taxing. And I homeschool full time now, but I have been a photographer for about 10 years, and I've really cut back on that. And I kind of lost my joy for it for a long time. I've lost kind of the desire to be doing that. And I don't know, I think this would just really bless our family. I'd love to get our house paid off. That would be incredible. Love to pay off our cars. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be like wonderful. Like I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, what would that be like? What would it be like if we could actually take a vacation, like actually go somewhere? I don't know, just things like that it would just totally change our, like a year from now, like things could look completely different. And I don't know, that's exciting to think about.
Good. I'm glad it's exciting. It doesn't sound like you have a ton of head trash surrounding like, oh, but I can't do that. It sounds like you really believe it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just encourage you to talk about that all the time on your social media. You don't have to be at that point to be attracting people who want to get to that point with you. And so the taking the stress off your husband, or we'd actually be able to plan a vacation. Like, you want to attract other people who that's what they want out of life too. And so the more you talk about that, the better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't talked about the business side of it at all. Cause I just was worried that, I don't have anything to offer right now as far as like, hey, check this out. My electric bill was paid this month, but I guess there's no reason why I can't share like the dream of like what I will be doing and what I want to do and where my goals are, I guess. So,
because as you're sharing your little countdown and saying this, I want to get to senior silver this month, it's the next step on my ultimate journey, which is to get to emerald. And this is what that means to me. Like, you're going to appeal to people who want to support you, just plain and simple want to support you.
Okay.
The other thing is, like when I started Plexus, we were so tight with money that when I was able to buy 1 bar of dark chocolate in our grocery budget and not have to use my like blow money, it was just like, oh, such a breath of just like, oh, this is so nice. I was able to buy this fancy chocolate, and that was $5. And so when you think about your silver bonus or your senior silver double bonus that you're going to earn this month, that's life-changing. It's, and it probably would pay your electric bill really, but don't count anything out. Even if it's like, hey, I was able to buy a $5 bar of chocolate that was not part of my grocery budget. Someone out there is going to be like, I just want to be able to buy one thing, one more extra thing. So yeah, you have so much you can offer with the paychecks you're already earning, but you can be sharing what you're wanting to get, why you're wanting to get there, and still be appealing to those people. And you can wear out Lisa's financial testimony and Megan's financial testimony and all that's happened for them. And they don't even have to be on your team. I share people's all the time. I'm trying, just be thinking, really get clear on who you want the Lord to bring to your team. And don't be afraid to get really specific as far as like what sort of giftings and mindsets and qualities that you want them to have. And every time that you're posting, act like you're speaking like directly to that person one-on-one. So yeah, you can get real specific on that. And then you can also, as you get specific on those qualities, you can also be writing down names of people that fit the bill, that fit that. And then you'll just be that much more mindful of, those are the people I interact with first. When I do have to put it away from the kids, those are the people I'm wanting, to be top priority, because those are the people I want in my life. I want people like them on my team, and I want people like them in my circle. And okay, I think that covered all my questions. So before I kick it over to Megan, is there any nagging or persistent thought that we haven't discussed yet that you feel like brings you stress in the business? You said, I kind of have a small circle. I don't want to pester people by following up with them. I heard those. Was there anything else?
Just not knowing, I don't know. I guess not knowing sometimes like what the right reach out is. Like doing reach outs kind of intimidates me. It's just intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pee my pants every time. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most people just run the other direction from feeling like that. It's scary. It is. And Genevieve, she always says you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So if someone is on your mind again and again, and you're like, I've got to just bring up Plexus to them. You can have a level of trust in your gut that you're going to say the right thing. But the best thing I can say to you is that like every person on this call, especially those of us who are seasoned, like, yeah, it is risky. And that is why most people don't do it, because it's risky, and like my husband tells me all the time that like most people don't do these amazing things because it's putting yourself out there, but you're not most people, you're different. So you just kind of have to look for grab your little squad, your Lisa and Megan and whoever on the team is kind of building at the same pace as you or in the same stage as you. You got to just rally them up and be like, okay, guys, I'm about to reach out to this person. I'm about to pee my pants. And they're all going to be like, we're so proud of you. And then when you do it, no matter if they ignore you or no matter if they come back and say, oh my gosh, you were so tacky, even if they have the worst possible response ever, you're still going to be surrounded by these truth tellers going, we're so proud of you. Like, we get that it's hard and we're so proud of you. So as Brene Brown would say, what feels like vulnerability to you looks like courage to me. Thanks, Carrie. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Well, we want to hear an update after your month, so keep us posted. Okay, Megan, you ready?
All righty. I'm looking for Amanda, right?
No, Amanda was last week. So tonight you have Barkley. I see.
Awesome. Okay, awesome.
I see your name, Barkley, but can you turn on your camera? Oh, she's on her phone. Okay, phone commands. Who remembers what you pressed on the phone?
Is it on the bottom
She's
left?
unmuted.
Maybe the video icon.
Okay, now she's muted again.
Hmm.
So Barkley, if you can, oh, okay, Barkley, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, there she is.
Hello. How's it going?
Sorry, I've never Zoomed before in my life, so I'm trying to figure this out.
Hey, there's a first time for everything.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Do you have, can you like swipe left or right and see some little icons across the bottom of your screen? Or maybe the video icon is at the top of this top right hand corner. I can't remember.
I don't see the video icon anywhere.
If she called the number as a phone call, then she wouldn't have that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sad that you guys can't see me the way I look right now.
That's okay. I was out in the wind at a soccer game, and I think I have like no makeup left on either. So, totally fine. Okay, well, we can just chat. That's fine. Why don't you tell us a win that you have and maybe where you ended last month? Just kind of give us a little picture of where you're at in your Plexus journey.
Okay, so I actually joined at the end of last month.
Okay.
So I didn't. This is my first like full month with Plexus. I actually, so I signed up with Kara. I'm sure you guys know that, but I actually ordered the triplex from somebody else. My mom was doing Plexus, or my mom and my sister are doing the triplex, and we're singing its praises. And so they ordered it for me from their upline. Well,
Okay.
I loved it. Yes.
So you had started the triplex and then joined as a VIP customer?
Yes.
Okay. And then you started sharing right away, apparently, obviously, right?
Yes. That wasn't the plan to be an ambassador or anything like that. I loved it so much. I just started talking about it.
Sweet. That's awesome. So who are your first three people?
They are actually, so I had a couple of really good friends to sign up. One, honestly, just to support me, but truly ended up loving her products and plans to continue using them. I had a good friend that was looking for some support in like weight loss, but she was also struggling with like bloating and just several different just gut issues.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she signed up for. And then actually, I had a friend that came to a sip and see that I did with Kara. Kara couldn't believe it, but when she left, I said, Kara, I don't even know her. That was the first time I met her in person. But we hit it off. It was like we'd known each other forever. And she signed up we have babies that are about the same age. So she's kind of in the same position with me with struggling with some baby weight and things like that.
Okay. So you weren't planning to share, but you did a sip and see?
Yes.
Okay. And saying yes to that, did that feel weird since you weren't planning to share? Or did you
no, that was so that was actually kind of the turning point, like where I did decide that I could do this. Was agreeing to the sip and see. I decided to commit before we even did that, but of course made it easier after seeing Kara in her element doing her thing. Made it seem very doable.
Okay. And so had you made a post or anything like that online first?
I did. I posted about the event.
Okay, got it. And did you have any traction on the post or private messages from that, or was it more or less
I did.
a surprise who showed up?
I did. Well, that too. But I had several interactions with the post, even if it was just family members that were boosting it for me, but then I also had people that were genuinely interested. Um, I'm an open book on social media, so I was very vulnerable in that post and was just honest about my story and the reason I was doing it. And I think that resonated with a lot of people that have been like in the same position as me or are there now. Um, that's what a lot of the interaction on the post was.
Okay, got it. And so how did it feel to go silver and sign up your first 3 people?
That was wild because it was like it happened and I thought I've been doing this for 5 minutes and it that made it seem very easy. But it happened so fast. It was unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did it kind of awaken something in you to be like, oh, let's do that again? Or are you
Yes.
like good to go, fine with, helping those 3 and you're done?
Well, I really want to continue to pursue this. It made me feel like I can do it, and exactly like you said, it awakened something in me that I have like this drive to help support my family. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I
Okay.
want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also want to contribute to our family. And hitting silver that quickly made me realize like this could be it for me. This could be exactly what I need, what my family needs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, definitely. For me, I felt like when I went silver, I was kind of just like, haphazard posting and, kind of thing the month that I did silver. But as soon as I went silver, I was like, it's game on now. So I'm
Yes.
curious, what does contribution to your family look like? Have you thought through what that might look like maybe the freedoms that would bring or the choices that you would get to make, or even quantifying like a certain dollar amount per month that would be a blessing to your family?
Honestly, I don't have a set dollar amount per se, but um, similar to what Ashley said, it would be like the extras for our
Mm-hmm.
family, the vacations and just not having to stress about Christmas and planning birthday parties and that kind of thing. My husband just more than takes care of the bills,
Mm-hmm.
but to be able to help him do the fun things
Mm-hmm.
is what's important to me.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to give you as homework is to get a paper after you jump off the call and you write down, you can title it Fun Things. And I want you to put on the paper all the things that you can think of, just like download your brain space on what that is. And like when you write vacations, I want you to be specific about where and who you're going to go with. And then
Okay.
birthday parties, like detail out whose birthday parties. I'm thinking probably kids, but maybe there's some other ones in there as well. Like, what does that look like specifically? Because when you put pen to paper, there's something that happens in our brains that causes us to start thinking more creatively and start thinking, I don't know, it makes us more aware and also gives us really like solid clarity about why we're doing what we're doing. And personally, I actually have a dream board picture on my door, actually the last 3 years of my little dream board. And I've drawn a lot of them with pictures, not just words. And part of that is fun stuff for my kids. Like I want to be able to just go to the store and buy like the biggest trampoline or order the biggest trampoline that there is. I want to build a big,
Yes.
really cool Gaga ball pit. Like those types of things, like that totally fuels me. And that is what propels me forward to like go do the scary reach outs or to help that person with customer care that's struggling on their products, or swing back through maybe some old people that fell off the bandwagon and take the low road and be like, I totally fell off the bandwagon following up with you. Are you still dealing with migraines and that postpartum baby weight? Like, tell me where you're at with all of this. That, like, tell me where you're at. So anyways, that is your homework assignment, is to make that paper full of the fun things. So I want you to do more than 3 things, okay? Because you listed
Okay.
vacations, Christmas, and birthday parties. And then I want you to screenshot or take a picture of it and send it to Kara and Carissa as accountability. And post it
Okay.
so you can see it every single day. Okay, next thing is, so you went silver at the end of March. What is your April goal? Do you have an April goal yet?
I don't. In the spirit of full transparency, I have not been able to focus at all this month. We bought a house. We've been renovating the new house. We're in the process of moving. Life has been so hectic. I feel like I ended March on the high of hitting silver so quickly, but then I don't want to say like I crashed, because I do still have the desire. It's just that's one thing I kind of had to put on the back burner just temporarily. I haven't been able to pour into it like I would like to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I would say you're normal in the sense that even with all the life stuff aside, when you hit a goal, often we sit and like revel in the goal for a while, and then we can sometimes get into like no man's land where we're like, well, I hit the goal and yay, but we haven't like reset the next goal. Okay, so
Yeah.
continuing success with Plexus, and being able to see those vacations and fun things realized will require the resetting of the goal after you hit a goal. Okay, it could be a big like rank up goal, or sometimes it's like, you know what, I want to go silver again this month, or I want to hit my highest points ever. Okay, so whatever that looks like. I know that we have multiple levels of experience on the call, so everyone's thinking or hearing this with their own set of circumstances and where they're at in their Plexus business. So I would say it's normal to not reset the goal, but I'm going to challenge everybody on the call to be abnormal and reset their goal. Reset it quick. Okay, I'm not saying don't celebrate your previous goal, but to reset the goal quickly, because then it gets us into forward motion and momentum with where we're going to go next, and it will help eliminate the end of month crazy frenzy, or maybe even a bit of overwhelm those last couple days. If you're like, oh yeah, it's the end of the month, and oh, I want to go senior silver, and I gotta sign 6 more people in 24 hours. How am I gonna do that? Which you can totally do that, okay? But working on it throughout the month, and this is something that I've had to learn the hard way, and I wish I would have learned it sooner, but to do little things every single day, okay? And so, I mean, give yourself some grace, because if you're moving and doing all that, there's just a lot of extra things that aren't normally on your plate. So there's grace for that. But one thing I would challenge you to do is to be consistent in your posting. And your sponsor can even like send you or give you like a testimony page where you can like pop in, and maybe, at night when you're just relaxing for 5 minutes before your head hits the pillow, you can go snag a really great testimony that has an awesome picture with it to be able to queue up for your next morning's post. And so you can do the same thing with your stories to get some pre-made graphics or whatever in a group where you're not having to write out the whole thing or make the graphics yourself, but you can just stay relevant and keep people a little bit of sprinkling Plexus in, even in the midst of a busy season. Because I mean, people don't see our lives, but they can see our storefront, like our little Plexus business is still open and we're chatting about it. And this is something that I've talked to some people recently about, is that our consistency in posting is as much for our potentials as it is the people that are currently on our teams. Because when they see us tap out, or well, I should say, if they see us grow inconsistent with our posting, often we'll notice that in the attrition side of our business, which is kind of the back side of it. But it's often because they don't see us talking about it anymore, so they don't. It's not on their brain. We're not jogging their memory. Like if you pop in and even a quick little picture of you taking your morning supplements. I mean, it could be something as simple as, "Hey guys, I got my omegas and my aloe-based vitamins that help with absorption, and I got my gut health boost in for the day. I'm ready to start the day. It's gonna be a great day, and it's gonna be a busy day. Okay, just something super simple like that will also cause your current people to be like, oh yeah, Barkley's taking her supplements. I need to go remember to take mine. So that's just one little idea and challenge there with the consistency piece on posting. So do you have an idea of the rank structure within Plexus to know like even what the next rank would be for you?
Sort of. I did know that it was senior silver, but beyond that, not much.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's great. And that's what's so beautiful about this particular coaching call, is because we're talking to everybody and the people that are going to listen to the recording as well that are in your season, right? You just went silver, or maybe you just went senior silver, and you're like, well, I don't really know what the next rank looks like. I know it's gold or whatever. So senior silver is 50 points, 50 pay points, and you divide that by 6, because every level 1 that you sign would give you 6 points. And not all of these people have to be level 1s, just FYI. So if you have a couple of girls that signed last month that are totally game for doing what you just did and host a sippancy and add 3, that would take care of senior silver for you, plus some, okay? Because if you divide 50 by 6, then you would get 9, right? That would be, yeah, 54. So you've already signed 3 though. So as long as those people have their subscriptions on and their orders process, then you just need 6 more people in order to go senior silver this month. But when you think about, your friends that you just signed up, referring 1 or referring 3, you can see how fast that can add up. And we'll just talk about gold really quick too, because that's the next rank. So you always want to have the rank that you're ready to go to in mind, but also look forward to the next rank too, so you can kind of have that on your radar as well in light of the numbers. Okay, so gold would be, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, good. Gold is 100 points, okay, and that's approximately 17 people or 17 orders, okay? And that, remember, these don't have to be people that you personally sign up. Like, it totally can be,
Okay.
but I would recommend to be really working on having a 10 to 20% like silver rate or duplication rate. Okay, sometimes that looks like, someone's willing to eke out a little +1, like they sign their mom as their accountability partner, or maybe you offer to do sippancies for those people that just signed up, and they're like, sure, and they sign 3 people or something. So your people's people count for you going gold, and you want to really hone in on that duplication skill set by asking the question. And we learned this weekend at Gold School, Genevieve gave us some really great wording about hey, I don't ever want finances to get in the way of your health journey. And I would love to, I actually help people get their products paid for. And I was curious if that would be a blessing to you. Would that help you out this month? And just to kind of open up that conversation. And again, there's lots of different ways to ask that question, but have you talked to your current people about doing a little sip and see like you just did?
I have one of them. One of them is with another network marketing company, and of course, that's in her rules to follow that she cannot affiliate. Yeah, so as a distributor, so she told me that up front that she couldn't do anything like that. Which she would probably be willing to host for me and invite her people and just have them sign under me and not her. If that would be okay, that didn't occur to me until now, but I could do that.
She may be able to be a referral for you, and if it's, I don't know if it's I'm assuming it's not a competing company, because sometimes, like if you have a friend that's selling like activewear, they probably have a network full of people that need gut health and weight loss, and so
right.
Maybe there could be something where there would be a little referral thing worked out with someone like that. And then the other two, do you think that they would be open to that?
Yes, one of them is actually ready to do it. She was
Oh, sweet.
starting a new job. Yes, she was starting a new job. So she wanted to kind of get into the swing of that and then see what her schedule was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's actually ready to upgrade her account to ambassador as well. So we want to do that for her soon. But like I said, just with my schedule and moving and her new job, we were kind of needed things to settle down a little bit, but she should be about ready for us to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's exciting. I mean, if you have someone that's willing to let you actually host an in-person sip and see, that's golden.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would definitely try to, encourage, if she doesn't have her work schedule yet, that's one thing, but just keep talking to her about maybe getting something on the schedule tentatively. The earlier, like the sooner the better, I feel like. Because one thing that I will say that I really love is when I do an in-person sip and see for a new ambassador, a new VIP customer, is hosting 2 back-to-back. And this maybe sounds like a lot of work or a lot of invested time, but my thought is if we do one on Tuesday and one on Saturday morning, it'll catch people that maybe can't come on one night, but they could on the other day. Actually, I see that Laura's on. We did that for her. And it's good because there's always the follow-up event. And for people that aren't local, you could do 2 online events, or you could switch it up and do one in person and then do the next one as a online event, because there's always people that are going to be like, oh, sorry, last minute, I can't come, but I do want to learn about it. Okay, so it just helps
Right.
move them through the funnel and helps them get knowledge faster and where they can get started. Just like Jessica Heffley says, we can only help them if they actually start. So my thought is, like, I always want to move people quickly through that decision process, because I know, like, it took me 18 months to say yes. And that was a long 18 months that could have been shortened, and I could have seen health results sooner if I would have said yes sooner. But we didn't have things, little systems like, the little online sip and see, or the 15-minute messenger event, or little groups like that, where I could have been, funneled into one of those and actually learned more about what Plexus actually was. So the fact that we have that to offer people is really, really great. Do you have any particular questions for me, since you are in the beginning stages of your journey and you're ready to roll?
Not off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that I had wondered about have been discussed already, so I can't really think of anything else.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts about making senior silver your goal for this month?
That would be wonderful. Things are starting to slow down over here, so I'm ready to jump in
Mm-hmm.
and hit it hard. And I'm a little intimidated, with having 2 weeks left, but I did it last month, so let's do it again.
Yeah. Well, and we have the rest of this week, and then we have 2 full weeks. Like, we still have plenty of time. So you're not behind the 8 ball at all. And I will just say that those are, you're in your fast start window. The rank up bonuses for fast starters is huge. It's like a triple bonus. So if you go gold, your bonus for gold is like $750.
Wow.
And that's just on the bonus side of things. So I wouldn't sell yourself short in the sense, because my feeling is, you host a sip and see for your friend and she signs 3, 4, 5, 6 people. You're already senior silver and you're going to continue to post and continue to sign up people as you go. And so I'm just going to say you can totally double rank this month. And, I know that God can direct people to you that need the products and the business, and, just be open. If you hit senior silver a lot sooner than you think, reset that goal quickly and help some more people host a sip and see, whether online or in person, because I really think that you can get the ball rolling to gold quickly and earn gold school in July, which was such a fun thing. You can go to my wall and look at the pictures that we took from Dallas. And then I also heard that you registered for convention, which is exciting.
Yes.
That's awesome. Anyone that's on the call that hasn't registered for convention, I just encourage you to go register for that. It's going to be so worth it, and you're just going to glean so much from that. All that that Plexus puts out there for all of us, because it's amazing. It's incredible. And just being in the space of people that are in growth mode, they are people that want more out of life, and they're value adding individuals. It's just it's so fun, and it'll be well worth the time and investment to go. So okay, well, Carissa, what did we want to wrap up here? Did you have any things as we were talking that you thought of?
Oh no, I think that y'all covered a lot of awesome stuff. I think we're good to go.
Okay, well, register for convention. Make sure to be encouraging your people to register for convention. Remember that you can earn over $1,000 this month by referring 9 friends, okay? And I loved Carissa's question, we were talking about asking questions, is that how can I attract those people, okay? Because you have people in your circle that need an extra $1,000 this month. Who would those people be, okay? And I want to reference this sheet. It says 7 steps to a winning day, just kind of to swing back to what I was first talking about at the beginning of the call, just about having a little routine, little system. I'm going to pop this graphic in our chat, and Carissa can blitz it out to her team. But it's just some good ideas. It kind of chunks things down into 15-minute little segments. And like Genevieve says, this is the recipe. Okay, so you can't say as you're making brownies, oh, well, I don't like eggs. Because that's part of the recipe, and you'll end up with something very weird coming out of the oven if you don't add the eggs. And so that was the same idea here. We're not avoiders. We're going to go do the things. And so we'll pop that in the chat for everybody, because as a silver ambassador, this is golden. This will get you to gold and beyond. Actually, it'll get you to diamond done consistently. So thank you, Barkley, and thank you, Ashley, for being on the call. I'm so excited to see all the things that you accomplished this month. And I will challenge you, once we get the recording up, go back and listen to your segment of the call so that you can glean some more from it. So thank you all. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Night.